gathered here in the mystery of this hour, gathered here in one strong body that no miles can separate, gathered here in love, in growing, in dreaming, in giving. Spirit, draw near.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Congregation of Westchester and our online worship service. My name is Jan Troltania, and I'm serving today as the lay associate. Our minister, the Reverend Dan Schatz, will be speaking to us today on emerging anew. Are any of your spring bulbs emerging? I saw some coming up in our garden. You know, the crocuses and the daffodils used to be buds, but recently they have grown apart. I especially want to welcome all of you visitors to our online service this morning. We hope we'll have a chance to get to know you. You can say hello in the comments, or if you would like to be in touch directly, the email address to contact us is welcome@ucwc.org. And we hope that you'll join us for our online social hour. The link and password are in Connections, our emailed newsletter that comes out Thursdays. And we're going to put that link in the comments for this service and on the screen at the end of the service. Unitarian Universalism holds that great good comes from wide diversity. So whoever you are, whomever you love, whatever your heritage, and from wherever your beliefs spring, we're pleased that you are here. Let us walk a while together. I have a few announcements for us. As a reminder, please check Connections and our online calendar at ucwc.org for the announcements and information on how to access our various online events. If you're looking for a vaccine appointment and have difficulty with online systems, UCWC has a group of volunteers to assist you. Right now, people in Group 1A are eligible for vaccines, but everybody should sign up with Chester County Health Department. Please contact Wayne Beloy at finance@ucwc.org to request or offer help with getting vaccines. On April 18th, for kids and adults to participate, we will have our annual poetry service called Connecting in the Verse, and we need participants. The theme this year is connecting with one another through poetry. Congregation members of all ages are invited to read or submit their own poetry or some of your favorite verses. If you or your child would like to participate, please contact Sarah Hyson at poetry@ucwc.org. All the poems have to be in by Sunday, April 11th. We continue to hold focus group sessions for our stewardship season. You're invited to attend a focus group session via Zoom to discuss what you'd like to be different or see added to our congregation once restrictions are lifted and we emerge anew. Please sign up for a session. There is still space left in the last two sessions. The sign up is on the UCWC website. You're invited to a discussion this Wednesday, March the 10th at 7 p.m. about Buddhism's Eightfold Path as we continue to discuss how to live a wholesome and fulfilling life, finding what is good and true in our lives and what we should avoid. Join us that night and or RSVP to adult-re@ucwc.org. And finally, please remember that next Sunday, March the 14th, it's time to set your clocks forward for 1 hour as we emerge anew into daylight. As Reverend Dan put it, we love you, but we will start without you. Our chalice lighting words are from futurist, inventor, and author R. Buckminster Fuller. There is nothing in a caterpillar that tells you it's going to be a butterfly.
From many places we gather the Spirit, and I invite you to sing. I invite you to join in our unison affirmation. We gather, aspiring to be a thriving, caring, and welcoming community that supports each person's spiritual journey, embraces diversity, challenges us to live responsibly, and is a catalyst for a just and compassionate world. Well, every week this year we've had a time for all ages in our service. This week is a special one because it is also a time from all ages, as our Director of Lifespan Faith Development, Cassie Lengel, will tell us.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Now is the time in our service when we invite our children and youth to join those who have gathered here together as we listen to a very special Time for All Ages message. As always, let's begin with a nice deep breath in together to center ourselves. Ready? Welcome to Stewardship Sunday. We are so excited for this service as we celebrate the love of our community. This morning we will hear and share some love from Reverend Dan, from some of our members and friends, from our stewardship committee, from our spirit singers, and right now from myself and our children and youth. We are a beloved community striving to build this congregation into a place of welcome, inclusion, diversity, justice, and support. Today, I want to share a story with you. This story is about a carpenter who had spent years of his life building wonderful homes and buildings, but who decided to retire. His boss came to him and convinced him to build one last home, a home as grand as he could make it. The carpenter agreed, but he was so tired that he decided to cut some corners, use lesser materials, and make it look more impressive than it was. Finally, it was finished, and his boss came to the man and handed him the keys, thanked him, and told him this last home was a gift from his boss to the carpenter for the many years of hard work. I wanted to share this story with all of you because we too are like the carpenter. We are builders. We are building our own individual lives. We are building as we relate to the people around us who love us. We are building this congregation and our relationships with our community. And we are building Unitarian Universalism together. We are building our present with every action that we take, and this lays the foundation of our future. What we do today affects what we are building. Like the carpenter in this story, we are tired. After all, living and believing and acting in this world and our relationships, that's hard work, especially during a pandemic. But unlike the carpenter in this story, I see how we are digging into this community, building with purpose, checking our foundations, reworking what doesn't fit our needs, and growing into a newer and brighter future together. Just lean into our service today to see all the love we are sharing with one another. Lean into the work our congregation is doing. Lean in and bring your head and your heart and your hands to what we are doing. Lean in because every single person in this community has a voice and is important. I wanted to end by raising up the voices of our children and youth. We don't hear from them very often in our services, and I think it is so important to remember them on this Stewardship Sunday. We are building our congregation and our Unitarian Universalism, and our children and youth are part of this process as well. We are all builders together. Let's hear now what some of our youth have to say about UCWC.
What I love about UCWC is that we include and respect all kinds of people.
Hello, I love UCWC because it makes me feel at home.
What I love about our congregation is that we have lots of good guest speakers.
One of the things I love about UCWC is all the ways we can come together as a community, even online like this.
What I love about UCWC is having Share the Plate Sundays so that we can support local organizations.
Well, after hearing that, there's only one hymn I think we could sing. It's very simple. We give thanks.
Thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here this precious day.
Well, we just heard from some of the kids in our congregation about why they love UCWC. We also have some adults to hear from, members and friends. We've been doing that every week during this season, and I'm very glad today to welcome Elaine Butler and also Roscoe Brown and Rachel Lane for their UCWC moments.
Good morning. My name is Elaine Butler, and my husband Jack and I have been members of this congregation for over 25 years. A lot can change in your lives in 25 years, but coming to UCWC is still like coming home to a place of love and acceptance and free exchange of ideas. Sure, the congregation has changed a lot over 25 years too. When we first joined, we were meeting temporarily at the Westchester Senior Center, and our minister, then Kate Rohde, was on sabbatical. But we knew, even then, through those lay-led services, that we could find an outlet for our questions and our uncertainties and our desire to explore our inner lives and contribute to the larger community. We also found a place where we could provide our children with a real moral compass in this world. And look at us now, gathering in spirit in cyberspace for services and for my cherished small group ministry. 25 years is a long time to commit to any relationship. But we recommit every year, every week in fact, because this relationship brings us thought-provoking discussions, deep reflection, fun, fellowship, and friendship, and a sense of belonging. I encourage all of you to recommit as well. Thank you.
I love UCWC because it is a place where I can come and practice my beliefs, and I am accepted regardless of what they are.
I love UCWC because I brought my daughter there. It's been, I don't even know how many years, and she's been in RE all along, and it's made her the most open-minded person. She's a great listener, and I'm really proud of her. And I really think so much of who she is because she was brought up in this place.
Well, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Moments like that make it a whole lot easier to ask for money. But honestly, this congregation makes it easy because we are generous and we support it. We support our Unitarian Universalist congregation through our pledges. We also support it through our weekly giving. For our offering today, you can give on the web. You can give via PayPal. If you have the PayPal app on your phone, you just hold up your phone's camera to the QR code that'll be on the screen in a minute, or you can send a check, or you can add a little to your pledge each month. So we thank you for your generosity. We will now receive our morning offering. Well, with last night's wonderful concert, we officially kicked off our Emerging a New Stewardship campaign, and I hope you've already figured out that this is not just about money. It's about love and community and commitment. Some of you may have even received a gift on your doorstep this past week, brought to you by let me see if I can get that there, brought to you by our UCWC butterflies. Now I get to introduce the chief butterfly, Pam Sapko, who is coordinating the work of many hands in our annual stewardship campaign. So welcome, Pam.
Good morning. I bring you love from stewardship. I hope you all have received your pledge form and the special UCWC votive. If you didn't, please let me know. This is the time of year when we recommit our support for UCWC. We do this so that our finance volunteers can make a budget and a plan for the next fiscal year, which starts July 1st. So what is a pledge? A pledge is a promise to give at a future time. If you've never made a pledge before, think of your contribution as a membership, such as a gym membership. You know that each month you are going to make a payment, like a car payment. And if you've never made a pledge before, there is a special place on our website that you can go. Most members and friends pledge to give UCWC a certain amount of money each month, but depending on your circumstances, it may make more sense to make a larger contribution once or twice a year. For instance, if you give through your retirement IRA. In either case, it's important for finance to know so that they can budget the income side. The expense side is easy. We can't tell you how much to give, but there is good information in the brochure. On your pledge form and on the website to help guide you. So please, today or in the next couple of days, consider what you can do. Your pledge should feel good. You can either fill out the pledge form or make your pledge online at UCWC Giving Pledge. And reach out to stewardship@ucwc.org if you have questions or want to talk about your personal circumstances. And now the love side of stewardship. Why do I volunteer with stewardship? I love putting the pieces together like a puzzle, matching the need with the resources. In the case of the congregation, it's really simple. The resources are us in all kinds of ways, and the need is our congregation to pay the salaries and other costs. And in turn, UCWC feeds back to us. Paul and I are members and have been for a long time. We give to the congregation because we so appreciate what UCWC offers, perhaps now more than ever. This year, the congregation has been a touchstone for us during the anxious times of the election and COVID, and personally in helping me expand my social awareness through the Black Lives Matter and diversity book groups. I greatly value connection with folks interested in a liberal faith. And so, to wrap up, UCWC needs financial support from all of us, from all of its members and friends, to continue to be a vital congregation, to continue its great work and its great programs, and to continue to grow. Thank you for your pledge.
Thank you so much, Pam. Thank you for all that you do and are doing to help keep us strong and for our community and our congregation. Thank you so much. Well, I think it's fair to say that our congregation has never had a year like this one before. 12 months ago, we had a big dinner together. Remember that? There were almost 100 people all together in one room sharing a meal. It seems almost inconceivable now. We listened to Paul Geis and his and his wonderful jazz, his UU hymns. Last night's stewardship kickoff was very different. It was no less wonderful with Lisa Jeanette's fantastic concert on Zoom, but it's different. This year has been different, but this year has still managed to be amazing. We have leaned in. We have held this community together. And while I know online church is not for everyone, I honestly believe we are stronger as a community than we were when we began. And the thing is that this year, we have video proof of some of the ways that we've held this congregation together. So when Pam asked if we might be able to sum up this past year in video form, I started gathering materials and putting this together over the past couple of weeks, seeing how much love you continue to put into our congregation, seeing so much that we did together, and knowing there was so much more. I felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude and joy because we have an amazing congregation and I get to be your minister. It really is cause for gratitude. And the Spirit Singers provided just the right accompaniment for our memories from this past year. as I watched that video again and saw a couple of things people have put in the chat that people notice, all the different people, the way they feel touched and moved. I invite you, if you would like to, if you're in on the chat and would like to just say what you see, what you hear when you look at that video, what you feel. I suppose, from one point of view, somebody could interpret that video as a portrait of hardship. People who are used to gathering in a sanctuary and are now separated. And I'm sure when we look back at the year we've just spent, and I know it isn't over yet, we will be very glad never to repeat the experience. But that isn't what I see. And that isn't what I hear, and that isn't what I feel when I look at that video. I see togetherness. I see community. I see love coming through every frame. I hear it in the voices of our choir and the voices I imagine of you who were moved to sing or hum along just now. I feel it moving in this congregation, and it is powerful, and it is life-affirming, and it is life-changing, and it is life-saving. This is not a portrait of separation or hardship, or people drifting apart after too many months without being able to see each other. This is perseverance. It's dedication. It's people finding creative ways to connect and be more to each other maybe than we've ever been. And if that isn't sacred, coming out of all that we have been through, I don't know what is. I've seen it all year. Not just on Sundays and in services, but in the small group sessions that have been a lifeline to so many, in adult religious education classes, in our coffee house, our auction, the Defenders of Democracy, the bread service, the concert last night, Christmas Eve, and the Sunday school classes my son attends every week, whether I'm there or not. I might take a week off, but he's there every Sunday morning, sitting at the computer in our family room, talking about the Twilight Zone, or Unitarian Universalism, or Unitarian Universalist Twilight Zones, or some project, or just talking. And honestly, right now, the connection alone is vital. It is for all of us. 1 year ago, if you had told me that our congregation could not only survive, but thrive and grow spiritually and grow in the love of community and find ways to serve justice and serve our neighbors during a quarantine lasting 12 months and more, I probably wouldn't have believed it. I might have just given up right then and there, and I would have been wrong. If you had told me that our congregation would survive a year with no rentals, not much in the way of fundraisers, not so much in the way of Sunday offerings, with some members suffering the impacts of a deep, deep recession, I don't know what I would have thought. I've always said this is a generous congregation. I've always said there is abundance here, but I don't know if I would have predicted this. And yes, it helped not having to heat the sanctuary or run the AC so much, but that isn't what made the difference. Talk to our finance people, and they will tell you that what made the difference was that when times got rough, the generosity that has always been core to this congregation came through. Some of you are giving extra every month with your pledge because you know it's needed and it's something that you can give. Some of you know members and friends who can't afford to give this year, so you're helping cover what they can't. We've also had the most generous donations to a minister's discretionary fund that I've ever seen. So if you are one of those people who is hurting right now and needs help, please talk to me. We may be able to help. And that's love. Right there. That's love. It's love in community, and it's love for community, for Unitarian Universalism, for this congregation, for one another. This is what we can do when times are hard. Now imagine what we can do when times are better and we emerge anew. So here's one thing we know now that we didn't know before. We know that we absolutely have the ability to fund all our programs, fairly compensate all our staff, and still give to the community that surrounds us, all from what we give. We have the ability to emerge from this strange time stronger than we have ever been and more ready to grow. Now, we're going to need that knowledge. We're going to need everything we've learned this year as we emerge anew into next year, because chances are that even as we emerge anew, rentals still won't be much, if anything. And we still don't know what our fundraisers are going to look like, or exactly how long before the pandemic is fully and completely behind us. So when we're giving this year, we need to give with the assumption that it is entirely our pledges that will make our budget. We have never gone into a stewardship drive with an assumption like that before. But now we know that we can. So if you've given extra this year, when you make out your pledge for next year, I hope you will include that extra, and maybe more if you're able. If you haven't given extra this year, but you are able to increase your pledge, I hope that you will. If you've never pledged to our congregation, but you've been coming to our services, maybe you started coming online, or your kids are in Sunday school, or you're starting to feel that this is your spiritual home, I hope you will also make a pledge. You can go to our website and click Giving, or write to stewardship@ucwc.org, or write to me or to the office or to any of us. We'll connect you. You don't have to be a member to pledge, but if you're ready to talk about membership here, I hope that you will reach out to me. We can do this. It'll take all of us, but we absolutely can do it if we choose. We didn't know that before this year, but now we do. We absolutely can do this. Now imagine what that would be like. Imagine fully funding our entire budget based on pledges alone every year. Imagine doing it right, cutting nothing, fully and fairly paying all of our staff, increasing their hours when it's needed, covering our building and program and UUA expenses, growing in what we are able to do. And if we did that, if we really did it right, which we know that we can do, we could share our offering every week instead of once a month. We could put everything we earn through, say, our auction and rentals, or say everything that's left over at the end of a year, we could put into outreach in the community. Imagine the difference we could make if we did that. Imagine how we could truly live our values. Imagine the energy and time we'd have to develop more spiritual growth programs, more justice outreach, more community building. Imagine what we could do. Now we know that we absolutely can make this vision a reality. We know that now. It just takes giving. And whether or not we make it in 1 year, we will be better for trying as a congregation. And here's the thing about next year. Next year will be one of the most pivotal this congregation has ever seen. We will begin meeting in person once more. People all around us who have been suffering through this pandemic and who've needed a community of depth and love and curiosity and hope and giving will be looking, and they will be looking for us. We need to be ready to welcome them. We also have some members for whom online church didn't really satisfy, and we need to be ready to welcome them home. We need to be ready to welcome new families because I guarantee parents are going to be looking for community their kids can join that doesn't involve a computer screen. We need to be ready to keep streaming our services online from the sanctuary so that nobody who lives far or who can't get out on a Sunday has to miss. And maybe to offer some other programs online too so they're more accessible to everyone without giving up any of the gatherings in person that all of us crave right now. And I'm here to tell you that will happen. We've learned so much this year. We've learned about who we are, about what is possible, about how much this congregation means to us. When we emerge, we will not be the same as we were a year ago. We will be better, and we will be stronger, and we will leave nobody behind, because in the end, that's Unitarian Universalism. We are here for all of us. We are here whether we're privileged or impoverished, whether we're humanist or pagan or Christian or theist or atheist or Buddhist or Jewish or Hindu or Sufi or something entirely our own. We're here for all of us, whatever our background, our age, our ethnicity, our gender identity, our sexual orientation, our mental or physical abilities. We are here for the graceful, we are here for the awkward, we are here for all of us. Nobody gets left behind when we emerge anew. And all of us together will bring that new day. Can I get an amen for that? I believe I have gotten some amens. Nobody gets left behind. One of the ways we support each other in this congregation is by sharing sorrows and joy, the milestones of our lives. As we move into the part of our service when we lift up our joys and sorrows, I invite you to join in singing, "From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live."
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
Good morning. My name is Pratima Patel. I'm a member of the pastoral care team and contact person for the month of March. We have two cards of sharing this morning. A card of thanks from a member who is profoundly grateful for the support and words of encouragement she has received after her recent surgery, and a card of concern from grandparents who would like you to hold their grandson in the light as he recovers from a concussion. As always, a candle was lit for all the unspoken sorrows, concerns, and joys.
Please sing.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
We create community whenever we're together, whether it's online or in person, and I invite you now to a few moments in the community of quietness. For community which sustains and holds us, which lifts us when we are in need, which guides us in growing, which inspires us to service, we are grateful. For people who shine with love, who reach out to each other, who create programs and budgets and ideas and music and art and technical wonders, who give with love, we are grateful. For children and youth emerging anew into their own lives, whose honesty and energy inspires us, we are grateful. And for those whose commitment is as sure as the ground beneath us, who show up, who give as they're able, who say yes, we are truly grateful. Together, we give thanks. Amen. And blessed be. I invite you to join in our closing hymn, The Fire of Commitment.
From the fire of the flame that burns within. Then our promise finds fulfillment, and our future can begin.
Our closing today is just a little different. I think by now most of you have received the little UCWC candle and votive holder. It's like a mini chalice that you can always have handy, and we will use these in our Carry the Flame service in 2 weeks. If you haven't gotten one, you probably will very shortly. Or if you've moved recently or are newer to our congregation and we don't have your address and you'd like to be part of this, write to our office or to me or to Stewardship, and we'll make sure that one of our UCWC butterflies gets one of these to you. It's different to end a service with a chalice lighting, but this service is about emerging anew. So it seems only right to kindle a new flame. In gratitude, in hope, and in love. Go in peace.